I'd support Israel. One Christian state amongst all the Muslim countries.
Jewish state.
Jewish state, sorry.
They are creating anti-Semitism by saying that all Jews support the genocide.
We may be to the right of politics, but the greatest lie ever told is when they say that Adolf Hitler was right-wing. Adolf Hitler was left-wing. He was a socialist.
If you were to paint me a picture of how you want this country to look, what would it look like?
Christian.
Do you think Tommy Robinson seriously cares about Jewish people? Absolutely not.
We should be locked up. The Lion of Great Britain is now awake. Fully awake.
But when did it go to sleep? You also never seen a sexy fascist?
Most of them have only got 2 or 3 teeth.
Khaled, what are we doing today?
What do you think?
We're right here in Hyde Park, London. There's a lot of tension in the air because there are 2 rallies that are taking place at the same time. Firstly, there's a pro-Palestine Nakba Day march. It's the 78th anniversary of the 1948 Nakba, which is the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians. At the same time, there is also a far-right rally taking place, which is led by the far-right agitator Tommy Robinson, called Unite the Kingdom. This is all coming during a time when there's a lot of accusations towards the British government under Starmer, under Labour, of weaponizing anti-Semitism. There's been a lot of accusations towards this government that they're scapegoating the pro-Palestine protests. So, yeah, we got a team here and we're gonna go. Did you hear it, Khaled? Yeah, we're getting closer. We're getting closer, yeah. We're going.
All right, well, I'm here with Monica. Hi. So something just happened actually before I started to speak to you. There was a police officer that spoke to a protester who had a mask on.
Yes, a COVID mask, a type mask.
Yeah.
So just like a medical mask, not covering their face, not anything, just a normal mask.
And he asked her to
remove it.
To remove it.
Not only asked her, he insisted that she had to remove it.
Yes. Look, there's a lot happening on your posters.
There's a lot happening on my posters.
So there's Stop Trump, Stop Farage, Stop the Far Right, no Islamophobia, no anti-Semitism.
Yes.
There's so much happening. But why is it important to do this on the Nakba Day march right now?
Because we're joining 2 protests together, aren't we? You know, that we're bringing the 2 things that are really concerning a lot of people, this plight in Palestine and the level of racism we're seeing here. Those things are linked. They're linked, absolutely. Tommy Robinson understands they're linked. That's why he supports Israel, you know, and we have a common enemy
Do you think
together.
That's the reason?
Yeah, he understands that if he can whip up that level of racism. Do you think Tommy Robinson seriously cares about Jewish people? Absolutely not. He does not care about Jewish people. He's a supporter of Zionism and of the Israeli state, which is an entirely different thing to supporting Jewish people. His thugs, the same people who march with him, were beating up Jewish people, you know, all my life here in London.
So basically what happened is we saw someone getting arrested. We took some pictures that we'll probably overlay as I'm speaking right now. But right now, as you can see, there are people holding hands, kind of trying to make this, to make a straight line. We're going to try to speak to maybe a legal observer. Oh, Reem Jihad! It's okay. Well, I'm my colleague here from Middle East side. It's all good. We just get excited when we see each other. But anyway, back to what I was saying. We're going to try to speak to a legal observer or someone that saw what happened. This is similar to what I was speaking to Monica about, by the way, about when we saw a police officer telling a protester to take off their mask or insisting that they take off their mask. So I don't know if this is related. It seems to be. I've heard some people talking about that it was mask related, but let's speak to someone and see what it's about. I just want to ask about the mask situation, that's all. I just want to ask what happened or what
I don't really know exactly, except the guy, he claimed, and I have no reason to disbelieve him, that he was arrested for wearing a face covering, even though he pulled it off immediately. So, and
but
when
is
he was
that normal in these kind of protests?
It's not normal, no. It's not normal. It's just been made an issue. It's recently been made an issue, and it's completely out of order, because obviously there's all sorts of reasons why people might have to wear face coverings that are
medical reasons.
They're entirely legitimate. So yeah, it's a provocation, to be honest.
Yeah, big one, top one.
I just saw your sign, never seen a sexy fascist. You also never seen a sexy fascist?
Most of them have only got 2 or 3 teeth.
As I was saying earlier, the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has drawn fierce criticism after linking pro-Palestine marches to anti-Semitic violence. Now, Starmer suggested that those who stand alongside people chanting, quote, globalize the Intifada are calling for terrorism against Jewish people, and that those who use the phrase should be prosecuted. It's a statement that has inflamed an already fractured debate in Britain about the boundaries of protest, free speech, and what solidarity with Palestinians actually means. And that's an issue that I've put out to many of the Jewish protesters that I've met during this march.
I think I recognize it.
You do?
From MEE.
Yes, I am, sir. My name is Mohammed. Yeah. How you doing?
Obviously, it's a very heated climate right now. There has been anti-Semitic attacks like what's happening in Golders Green. So what do you make of what's going on and how, I guess, the political class is also using it?
The anti-Zionist voice is never heard. And we say we stand with the Palestinians. We support Palestinian freedom. And by cynically exploiting those awful attacks, and to then say that this is against all Jews, or against Jews in general, is completely wrong. What this is about is they are creating anti-Semitism. By saying that all Jews support the genocide, people then, they hear this over and over again, they say, okay, well, we're going to hate Jews then, because all Jews support the genocide. We don't. And that is why they silence us. They want to polarize us along religious grounds.
Criticizing Israel does not mean you are criticizing Jews or being anti-Semitic. It's two separate issues which Israel and Starmer and the right wing and Labour are trying to put across all the time. So we are trying to make this distinction that we are not anti-Semitic. We are criticizing a Zionist ideology, which is a supremacist, racist Israeli ideology.
Yes, my name is Les.
Sorry, Les. I'm just thrown off by Jeffrey Epstein over here.
It's a racist stereotype of Jews as supposedly identifying with Israel, and that describes a smaller and smaller proportion of Jews here, and there's a larger and larger proportion which are explicitly anti-Zionist. So it's a racist stereotype of Jews, and it's a racist attack on all pro-Palestine people, especially Palestinians here, by demonizing them as supposedly anti-Semitic, or simply as supposedly making Jews feel unsafe.
Free Palestine! People always ask us! Who we are!
Who we are!
And where we come from! We're from Palestine!
We're from Palestine!
Israel is a terrorist state!
What's with the costumes?
We are the Epstein class. We are the most evil people in the world. We are protected. We'll never get arrested. We'll never face justice. We can do what we want.
These are my minions. These are my minions,
right,
and we all support genocide. We should be locked up. We should be locked up.
Okay, so we got a taste of that. We saw what that protest is about. Now we're going to go to the other side, what's being called the United Kingdom protest. So we're about to get on the tube right now and see what it's about. Let's go. Let's go. Piccadilly line.
What does it mean to make Britain great again?
Oh, it's got to be to find our roots and our identity back again. And I think it's really important that we can come together and actually find that unity to make us stronger and, greater again. And I think over the last decade it's just eroded, all for the wrong reasons.
But why do you think that is, for people to understand?
Because I think we have a lot of what they call diversity,
right, multicultural
in the country,
right.
And the thing is, it hasn't worked.
We're here because we've been bombarded with Islam, ain't we?
With Muslims?
Yeah. Well, the extremists, not just the Muslims. That's not a problem. It's the extremism. That's the problem.
But why is it a problem? Like, why, if people from outside of the UK are trying to understand why you think it's a problem, can you say why it is?
There's grooming gangs.
Grooming gangs.
The priority for housing.
So to you, this is not about Israel and Palestine, or
Not really. That's one factor. That's one factor.
Do you support either side?
No. If any, I'd support Israel.
Yeah.
You know, they've been, you know, it's one Christian state amongst all the Muslim countries.
Jewish state.
Jewish state.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. People make that mistake.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, and they've been attacked from all angles, and you know, we feel for, or I feel for them anyway, you know.
But what about the other side when they call this like the far right and all these different names? Do you agree with it?
No. I think they're blinded by propaganda. They're blinded by rebellion. You know, rebellion against God blinds your eyes.
Like if you were to paint me a picture of how you want this country to look, what would it look like?
Christian, basically.
But no other religion allowed, or?
Yeah.
But mostly mainly Christian.
Yeah, it's a Christian country.
Yeah.
It's a Christian country. We have Christian beliefs here.
Go back to the roots.
Yeah. You've got more mosques becoming rather than churches. They're shutting churches and opening mosques.
I'm just going to read the first line. So it says, British Christians awake.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
It means we've got to wake up because we've been nulled, we've been duped, we've been fed a lie by the liberalists. We've self-censored and now we've given our country away. We've murdered millions and millions and millions of our own babies, and now they're filling the gap with Muslims. We may be to the right of politics, but the greatest lie ever told is when they say that Adolf Hitler was right-wing. Adolf Hitler was left-wing. He was a socialist. He was a follower of Marx, Nietzsche, Engels and Darwin. He was a monster who said that blacks are nothing better than monkeys and they should all be sterilised and shot dead on sight. That's the work of the devil.
Right down here.
Oh, that's why there's a lion.
That's why you got the lion. The British lion is awake.
Are you rolling? All right, he's rolling. All right, we're under the flag here. We're under the flag.
Yeah?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, it's the British lion, and the lion of Great Britain is now awake. Fully awake.
But when did it go to sleep? People will tell you when did
We
it go
have
to
lived
sleep?
in apathy for many years and taken our freedoms for granted.
What do you feel like the biggest problem with the country is right now? Like, what's the biggest thing? For people who don't live here.
Honestly,
yeah,
it's the amount of immigration. We're getting taken over, culturally.
Do you think that there's too many of them?
Yes, undocumented. We don't know who they are. Look at the accounts of rape, stabbings. We never used to have this on our streets. People put it into our communities. We shouldn't have to live like this, and our women and children living in fear.
I'm seeing a bunch of flags also here today. I mean, it's mostly the England flag, it's mostly the Union Jack, but I'm also seeing there's some the monarchy Iran flag, and I saw some Israel flag.
And they're all welcome.
Okay.
They're all welcome.
So because I was just at the Palestine one, would you welcome the Palestine flag here as well?
No.
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 How come?
No. Because Palestine.
Good.
Because Palestine represents a regime, Iran regime, which does not mix with our culture. They live in a different world to us.
But I saw some Brits there. Like I did, I promise.
Well, yeah, I know you're going to get the Brits. You're going to get the people on the left who think that way. They're the ones who are spreading hate and division. Look at here, everyone's like, it's fun, laughing. Music. What do you see? You just hear anti-Semitic slogans like, you know, river to the sea, calling for jihad, Infatala. What's that about? It shouldn't be. Like, it's not our thing. It shouldn't be on our streets. This is Great Britain.
What's the matter?
Sharia law advances as a parallel system. Our hard-fought rights retreat.
And history has shown it time and time again.
All right, so we're heading back to the pro-Palestine protest, as I said before. So we spoke to a bunch of people. I'm sure you've already seen it. A few things just happened on our way out. There was a group of 4 guys who were looking at us, and then one of them approached one of our crew members here and basically just said, "What the fuck are you guys doing here?" But to be fair, the other guy came and apologized and stopped his friend from continuing. And then there was another person that started filming us as we were just standing. He pointed the camera towards our crew member here. So just a little, I just told our cameraman to turn on the camera because I was just walking by, and a bunch of people stopped a police officer, and they're asking him what was happening down there.
And then he goes, oh, it's just the United Kingdom far-right march. And obviously the people that we were speaking to were against that label. I just wonder what they would think that a police officer would describe him as that. But anyway, let's keep going. What is it that you say when people try to link these protests to the idea of Jewish safety?
I think the lack of Jewish safety in London is a humbug.
Is it what, sorry?
A humbug.
A humbug.
It is completely false. Yes, there was an isolated incident, but as it turned out, the person who perpetrated was mentally unfit.
In a psychiatric hospital.
Yeah, and on the day of the knivings that he perpetrated, in the morning or earlier on, I don't know precisely what time, he was also attacking a Muslim person.
It's true.
And yet the media never mentioned that, because that would have been contrary to the desired story and narrative.
Shabbat Shalom and free Palestine! The weaponisation of anti-Semitism is like such a fundamental component of Zionism. You know, Zionism could never have legitimised itself, 100 plus years ago to this day if it wasn't for the weaponisation of anti-Semitism. Because without the assertion that Jews aren't safe, we wouldn't, need a homeland, we wouldn't need a nation state. So really, you can't be rid of anti-Semitism without being rid of Zionism, because for as long as Zionism exists, it will require anti-Semitism to exist.
When I was at that rally, one of the people I spoke to said to me, that Hitler was actually a socialist. He's not part of the right. He's part of the left.
It's like you can't make it up. You can't make it up. Like, it's a level of deprived insanity and lack of connection to reality and what it means to be a human, that it's just, they really will believe anything, unfortunately, and then they come back at us and say that we're indoctrinated.
Does it scare you, the fact that these protests are continuing to happen, that they're potentially growing?
The far right? Yeah, of course it scares me. It's terrifying. I mean, to see Israeli flags, to know Jews are in that march, it's infuriating. It's terrifying to think that they, because racists will always be racist. That's not, but to think that Jews are out there marching somehow to protect themselves or to protect us, without being able to see that you can't fight anti-Semitism, as I just said, without fighting every other form of racism and supremacy. And you can't march side by side with white supremacists. To be a Jewish person and march side by side with white supremacists, that's what Zionism has done. It's so separated Jews from their humanity and reality that they will march next to Nazis and then they call me a Nazi? It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, that terrifies me. But then you look over there and you're like, there's still good going on, there's still good going on. We've still got each other, we've still got this energy, we've still got this determination, and, that's what you can do. You can look that way and not that way.
Now, as the dust settles on what we saw today, here's what's worth sitting with. In recent weeks, the Met Commissioner went on national television claiming that the pro-Palestine march organizers repeatedly tried to route demonstrations past synagogues, which to him felt anti-Semitic. And the UK's own independent reviewer of terrorism legislation called for a full moratorium of pro-Palestine marches. These were exactly the questions we put to Jewish protesters at today's Nakba Day march. Many rejected it, explaining why they believe this government was scapegoating these protests rather than genuinely defending their community. Meanwhile, at the United Kingdom rally, speakers and organizers openly called for removing Islam from every single place of authority in Britain. A French far-right group took to the stage dressed in niqabs, encouraging the crowd to chant, "Take it off." Interesting to note how many attendees were quick to tell me that they rejected any labels of being far-right or racist, that this was about unity and reclaiming the country's original roots and values. But standing there, watching it unfold, it wasn't hard to notice that there was one religion very obviously being singled out, mocked, and targeted.
Anyway, hope this was informative. I'm signing off now. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time.